This law was first given by Mendel. In this law, he stated that in heterozygous condition, out of a pair of allele, one allele dominates over other. So to understand this definition, you must know first what is heterozygous condition. This situation when alleles are of different types. Here in this pair, one allele, like I have represented T, one is capital and one is small. So in this pair, one allele is different, one is of another type. This pair is known as heterozygous condition. In heterozygous condition, one allele dominates over other. What does dominates mean now? It means one allele which dominates over other will show its characters in the phenotype, and the another allele will remain suppressed. What does it mean? This capital T, this is for a trait tall. Small t actually represents a trait dwarf. When these two alleles of different type, one bearing character tall, another bearing character dwarf, come together, in this situation one allele dominates over other. What does it mean? This allele will express its character. What is its character? Tall. But allele which remains suppressed, this dwarf allele which remain unexpressed, will not be able to show its character. That is why it will remain unexpressed. It will remain suppressed. So character in this situation, phenotype of the organism would be tall. This situation, if you consider these both are homozygous pair, law of dominance does not apply to homozygous condition. It applies only in heterozygous condition. When alleles are of different types, one allele will dominate over another. He demonstrated this with the help of a cross. Let us first study the cross. So to demonstrate the law of dominance, he took two different pea plants. As he worked upon pea plant, Pisum sativum, he took one tall pea plant with pure tall genotype, means homozygous condition, and another pea plant he took pure dwarf, means both the T's must be small. And during gametogenesis, what happens? Alleles get separated and gametes receive only one allele of each character. So alleles get separated, and next step is fertilization. These two I have shown male gametes. It is necessary to put the male and female signs. Like I have mentioned, this is for male and this is for female. You can write in English also. So these are male gametes too and these are female gametes. Next is fertilization, and fertilization in this case is random. We don't know out of these two male gametes which male gamete will fuse with which of these two female gametes. So let us fuse first this male gamete with this female gamete. What will be the genotype of the offspring? Heterozygous, capital T and small t, when we fuse this male gamete with this female. Now, if this male gamete gets fused with another female gamete, in both the cases, offspring, means next generation would be same. Now, suppose if this does not get fused and this get fused, then it would be same. And if this get fused with this female gamete, this is our F1 generation. Now, this is the genotype. Genotype is heterozygous. What will be the phenotype of the offspring? As we studied in definition only, that if genotype is heterozygous, these all are heterozygous, phenotype would be due to dominant allele. Dominant allele is for character tall, and this small allele is for character dwarf, but condition is heterozygous, genotype is heterozygous, means alleles are different. So phenotype means visible character ki hoga, it would be tall, because this capital T will dominate over this small t. It will express its character and it will fail to express its character. Suppose if it were to express and express hona hota, then what would be the character of pea plant? Dwarf, but it remains suppressed due to capital T. That is why character of plant, phenotype of plant becomes tall. But you will not write pure tall word here. You will write hybrid tall. So the phenotype of F1 generation is hybrid tall. Hybrid is mixed because it has heterozygous condition. It has mixed alleles. But here it was pure tall and pure dwarf. So this was F1 generation, and next step he did was he he self-pollinated. He allowed the plant to undergo self-pollination. So next is on selfing. This is for, I am writing for male organ and this is for female organ. On selfing. On selfing, here he took two separate pea plants. Do remember, pea plant is bisexual. In one plant it bears both male and female organs. But here he did cross pollination. He removed the anther. That is called emasculation. After emasculation, he took two separate pea plant. One he took as male and another as female. And then he found out F1 generation. But after to calculate the F2 generation from F1, he did selfing. He did not remove anther. Means he allowed the pea plant to undergo self-pollination. So for self-pollination, organs must be there. Self-pollination for organs must be there, male organ and female organ. These are not plants now. So you can again put sign of male and female. Now these will mature up and they will also form gametes. Let us write the gametes. I have written on that side. So in this case, two types of gametes will be there. These I have written this side male gamete and lower side female gamete. Do remember, in the same sequence you have to write male gametes and female gamete. I have written first capital T is male gamete and same you will write this side. Now fertilization is random, so you will fuse these two female gamete with male gametes respectively one by one. Let us first fuse this male gamete with this female gamete. These are female. I have put sign of female. This female gamete with this male gamete. What would be the genotype? This. And if this get fused with this male gamete, then this. Now if this female gamete gets fused and if this gets fused, so this is entire F2 generation. Now let us study the phenotype of F1 generation. What would be this? It would be tall because it is homozygous condition. And if we apply law of dominance, according to law of dominance, these are heterozygous and these also would be tall. So these three are tall and this one is only small. So considering this, you have to calculate both phenotypic and genotypic ratios. So I have written both the ratios. Let us consider phenotypic ratio first. How did it come 3:1? Because these three are tall if we apply law of dominance. Although this is pure tall and these are hybrid tall. But externally, phenotype is when we see the character externally. Externally, these from external appearance, from outer appearance, these all will be tall. So 3 tall and 1 is dwarf. That is phenotypic ratio. Phenotype stands for external characters, external appearance. And genotype stands for genetic constitution, the types of genes found in any organism. So this is one plant, it has capital T, capital T. Is there any such plant? No. So this is one. One is pure tall. And this genotype, this kind of one capital T, small t is found in another plant also. So here are two plants with the same genotype. So these two are hybrid tall. And this small t is in one plant only. So this is pure dwarf. So this is genotype ratio. 1:2:1. Genotype is used to consider the genetic constitution of an organism. Do remember, it is obligatory, it is mandatory to mention the mention on the side. This 3 represents for tall plant and this one represents dwarf. Here you need not mention pure tall. You don't commit this mistake. Because these two are not pure tall, these are hybrid tall. This is only pure tall, but overall 3 are tall. So I have written only tall. But if you will write genotypic ratio, while writing genotypic, you must write one is pure tall because this is only homozygous condition. And in these two heterozygous condition, these are indeed a bit tall and these are also tall. This is also tall, but these are hybrid tall. So I have written hybrid. And one is only pure dwarf. So this was about law of dominance. This law of dominance further has 2 exceptions. So next we will study about the exceptions of law of dominance.